Ed and I.
Delegate Assembly, please come to order. Yeah, no? Okay. Welcome all. All right. We have a good bit of business to go through today, so let's get started. Captain Palenzuela, would you like to lead us in the pledge?
My pleasure.
Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Please be looking over the minutes. And while you're doing that, we'll ask PBSO for a law enforcement report.
Good morning, Century Village. How's everyone? Nice, crisp November morning. I think we're finally breaking the heat. Just want to wish everyone happy holidays. Our holiday season's coming up. We're transitioning out of hurricane season, and knock on wood, these next 30 days, hopefully the water's cool enough out there, we won't get any unexpected surprises. I want you guys to be aware of crime prevention when you're out doing your holiday shopping. 'Tis the season. We know every month we talk about fraud. You can't let your guard down, especially when you're traveling to shopping plazas. Continue, especially now as people transition to online purchasing, and you're going to probably be doing a lot of Christmas shopping that way, or your family members. Always be aware. Lieutenant Hill is going to cover some of the fraud cases that we had this month in the village. We're still seeing a lot of the computer scams and individuals creating websites that look like they look very authentic, and they're able to scam people out of their credit card numbers and get personal information. So be aware that if you don't initiate the transaction or you don't initiate the call, it's best to ignore it or hang up and just let your neighbors know if you see a trend. At these shopping plazas, you really need to be aware of your environment. Criminals are looking for potential victims all the time. That's not to say we have a holiday action plan. We're going to be out there patrolling our plazas and working in conjunction with security officers and security companies at these plazas. But you need to be aware. They're looking for you not to be paying attention at a gas station, not to be paying attention to your shopping cart while you're making holiday purchases, when you're loading and unloading your vehicle. So just make sure if you have someone you can take with you, travel with someone when you go holiday shopping, that would be advisable to do that. I'll turn it over to Lieutenant Hill, and then we'll take some questions.
Morning, everyone. How's everybody? Good. Hungover from all the candy? We had a pretty good month. We had 254 total events. That's everything that occurred, and 53 of those resulted in a written report of some sort or another. One residential burglary. A resident that is a seasonal, has been gone since May, came back and reported some items missing from her unit. We're tracking that down. Unfortunately, she had several service people, maintenance people, other things going in and out, so it's going to take us some time to sort that. 3 vehicle burglars reported. All of these were unlocked cars, usually small items taken. Somebody left a camera in the car or some, a wallet and things like that nature. This remains an epidemic throughout the county, these vehicle burglaries. And we can't stress enough, the need to lock your cars. There's a lot of people that take the opinion that they'd rather leave the car unlocked and not risk getting the window broken. I kind of like to discourage that. Make them work for it. And don't leave things out in view. Look. When you get out of your car, look and see what's there. A lot of people don't realize that they've left, a $20 bill that they, went through a drive-through and got change, or the bank, and they left it laying on the console. Take a look and see what's laying there that might look attractive. A couple of thefts were reported. One reported a theft of a television. The victim reported he has several, how should we say, roommates that are in and out. So the TV turned up missing, and a license tag decal was reported stolen. The biggest trend again last month was fraud. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cases that we know about. All of them variations on a theme. You know, somebody got into their account and ordered some stuff off of Amazon. Somebody got off, ordered some stuff online. The orders were made. So the best thing you can do is continue to be very vigilant, monitor your credit statements. One victim found it doing just what we suggested. Their credit score had gone down, and they couldn't figure out why. And they started poking around and found out the unlawful purchases. You don't have to do anything wrong to be a victim of this. These guys are very creative at getting in there to get into your information. So the best thing you can do is protect yourself. Take that time every month or so, whatever you feel comfortable doing, and take a look at your accounts, take a look at your credit statements, and that way if you do find something, we can address it quickly. I won't give you any false promises here. Many of these occur from outside the United States. Many of these occur outside the state of Florida. They're very difficult cases for us to prosecute, but at least if you can catch it early, you can minimize any damage that has to be cleaned up. And if anybody's been a victim of this, once they get in there and your credit score is affected and your accounts are affected, it's a mess to clean up. The banks will take care of you. They're going to refund your money once they get all their paperwork, but it's still a lot of work. And if you can catch it early, you can minimize it. Does anybody have any questions? Did we not pay the bill? Hi. Sure.
Laurent, we lost the light in front of the orchestra. Plunged everybody into the dark.
I know when a stop sign is not the right height, legally, I think you can't give a ticket. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, I want to know if a stop sign is also bleached out from the sun. Is that the same case?
As long as it's visible, we can still enforce it.
Okay.
If it was posted correctly according to the DOT.
But if it's bleached, but if you can still read it, in other words, is that what you're saying? Okay.
The question was whether a stop sign, if it's faded, is still enforceable. Yes. Sure. All right. Well, tell you what. Let me finish up here, and then I'll look at your specific issue for you. Okay.
The cam has made a good point. Marcia, where is this sign?
On the service road, a lot of the stop signs are bleached out from the sun on our service road.
A lot of the stop signs are specific service.
All right, talk to Marcia later. All right.
Any other questions?
Any other questions for PBSO?
Yeah. Come on.
Come down to the mic.
Yeah.
What is the policy for cars being sold with expired tags?
Well, it's not against the law. The car can't be driven, but there's nothing saying it can't be sold. That's if they're on private property. That's not something that law enforcement has anything to do about. No, the car can't be driven, but if it's sitting in one of your parking lots, that's a board issue. If you guys have HOA, that's up to your HOA rules.
Can't hear her question.
The question was cars with expired tags parked in the parking areas of the units. That's not something that are for sale. That's not something that we can address. That's private property, and if it's an HOA issue, so whatever HOA rules that you guys have in place, then bylaws. If your bylaws permit that. Anyone else? Oh.
Do you want me to go ahead and present it to the residents? Okay. We had this resident here. She received this in the mail, and it's basically a solicitation to try to get her to contact this company to tell her that she's qualified to have her maintenance fee bills permanently eliminated, all future maintenance fees. So I know Century Village is generous, but they need the revenue to operate such a nice community. So, and she duly recognized that this is a potential scam. So, and she just wants to make everyone aware that, sometimes it's not just via email, they still send letters because they still get response. And if these things didn't work, they wouldn't send them because it still cost them some
I got it.
postage. But these things do work because if it's too good to be true, right? You can't run Century Village for free. They need maintenance dues from every homeowner here or from every resident. So usually when you call these 1-800 numbers, they have a good script or a good actor that would probably make Tom Hanks look pretty bad. And
Exactly.
yeah, he's a good actor. But they have these individuals that are professionally trained to get you to elicit personal information. And once they have that, they dump it in a database or they sell it to other people on the black market on the internet, and then your identity is compromised. So just be aware. These things, you have to ignore them. You have to throw them away, rip them up, and get rid of them. Or do the right thing like she did and let your neighbors know that these things are going around. Yeah. They said good for you. You want to add
This was something of a bulk mailing. I got it. If you get down into the
These are
fine
hard to
print,
find.
it talks about
You
timeshare.
didn't get a traffic report?
I mean, and the lieutenant hit it right
how much
on the
traffic?
head.
Okay.
You call up and they're going to try to engage you in a speech and try to get your money for some dubious scheme. So don't get pulled in. No, you cannot get rid of your maintenance fees. Your building will, by a short route, fall apart. All right. Any other questions for PBSO?
Yeah, we're just going to go over the traffic stats real quick.
Oh,
We had
good.
a resident ask.
Good.
I lost count. We had about 50 traffic stops, a couple of wrecks, one DUI arrest, and a few minor crashes. So we're in here. We'll continue to be in here. So if you don't want to receive one of those cute little yellow certificates of achievement from my guys, please, the stop signs are there, so obey them. There's speed limits. We do enforce those. So please drive carefully. The season's coming back. Traffic, if you haven't noticed, is probably just a little bit worse. So be careful when you're out and about, and we don't want to see you involved in any of those fender benders. Any questions? Thank you. All righty.
Thank you.
We'll see you this afternoon.
As always, hope to see you at our security meeting this afternoon at UCO. Thanks, Lieutenant. How about giving me a hand up here, and we're going to run a clicker check. And you guys ready? Yeah, well, I haven't gotten the sign-in sheet yet. I am awaiting it, but let's see what comes up here. So everybody, please push your clicker. Push number 1. It'd be kind of weird to abstain from the fact that you're present. I guess in a quantum world that might work, but we only got 127? Boy, I hope we have more signed in. Oh, I'm getting a thumbs down here from Isabel. We may not have a quorum. Remember, it's 141. One what? I believe it's 141. Is that correct, Randall? Thank you.
How much?
No.
141. How many you got?
Holy mackerel. 141, did you say?
Just made it.
All right, look, that's very, very slim. So I'm going to say this before we lose our quorum. Sorry, Eddie, but we're going to jump right to the business of the day, because one person walks out and we're dead in the water. Okay. Yes, John. We're gonna get to that, John. We're not unaware of world affairs, okay? But we definitely have some business to get done here. But John is in essence right. I want to just say that there is, in memorial of the horrible and just egregious acts in the synagogue, we're going to have, Anshe Sholem is having a memorial service tomorrow morning at 10:45. And John, you're right. A moment of silence is definitely in order. All right? Thank you, John.
Ed Grossman.
All right. All right. It's really terrible. Yes, Ed.
I'd like to make another suggestion that I made before. We paid for this electronics.
Would you please?
I've made this suggestion before, and I think it looks a little thin. I'm not questioning the count. But I think what we should do, David, is go row by row, have at row press their button, and find out why we haven't had one count that ties in.
All right.
And you have a big difference now, over 20.
I got you. But we're still using the paper trail. So I have to suspect that there are people who, for whatever reason, are not pushing their clicker.
Well, I understand that, but why can't we just go row by row?
Yes, we could. We could be here for 4 hours, Ed. Thank you.
Sorry, but I got to say something. You could respond. But most of us who watched that nonsense about the latest thing about the appointment to the Supreme Court saw how nice and easy it was for them to take a roll call of 100 people.
All right. Thank you. All right, the first thing that we have, would you bring up, the first one on the agenda, appointment to the position of Vice President. In case everyone does not know, Joy Vestal has retired, somewhat because of reasons of health. So the bylaws are clear. The officers have filled that position, but that is subject to ratification by this assembly. All right? So appointment of Louise Warner. May we have a motion on this? I think that's important. Yes, Randall? All right. So Randall has moved for that appointment. And who's back there? Joyce Reese. Yes? And my eyes are getting dim. All right. Thank you, Joyce. Is there any discussion on this appointment? Is Joyce here? I mean, is Louise here? Yes. Would you like to show your face? Your smiling face. All right. Olga. What? Go ahead, Olga.
At present,
What?
there are certain individuals that disagree with the administration who are not allowed to voice their opinions in the Yuko Reporter. What I would like to know, that if we appoint Louise Warner, will she promise at this time to allow people to voice their opinions in the Yuko Reporter as long as there's no vulgarity? People who honestly disagree and have a say. Thank you.
All right, now Louise will in fact have oversight of the paper, but she will not be the editor-in-chief. This is a very fair question, and you want to bring it up with, assuming our appointment is accepted, we're presenting Bobby Levin as the editor-in-chief. But what you're discussing is fair journalism. I cannot imagine that Louise would not concur in this. Well, she can come up and speak for herself.
Could we allow Louise to say something?
Yes.
Yes.
I was a journalist in the 70s in Brazil when there was censorship. I am in favor of open journalism, and I will work with anyone who wishes to work with the UCO Reporter and the website. Fully open to discussion on all of this. And of course, I will be working with Bobby. We'll work together. We'll work with you.
All right. If you have a question, I kind of see something, but you're in the dark down there. Someone bring, I think that's Marilyn? Yeah, bring her a mic.
Louise, with this, with you being the overseer, will you allow pros and cons allowed in the paper that people can, there'll be both choices? Because there has not been allowed to have any pros and cons.
I can only speak for myself. I think Bobby really needs to address this. As a vice president, I won't have complete oversight of the paper, but I think we will all work toward an open environment.
A little closer to the mic.
Okay, I think we should all work toward an open environment, and obviously I'll be working with Bobby on this. I look forward to a good working relationship with everyone in the village.
All right. Any other questions on this nomination? All right. You guys ready? All right. There it is on the board. So press 1 for yay, press 2 for nay, and 3 for abstain. Please. Go ahead. Press your clickers.
Hold it.
They just came to tell me that the president from Berkshire has to leave.
Say that again.
The president of Berkshire had to leave. There was an emergency in the building.
Okay.
So that means you have 140. 140. You lost quorum. You lost quorum.
When did the president of Berkshire leave?
Isabel.
No, you're bringing up now a quorum issue. This is not an unimportant issue.
She's going to let us know.
Isabel, when did he leave? Okay, so we had the vote before he left. Well, give me an answer. Did he leave before or after we voted? Is that difficult?
Oh, before.
Oh, he was up here. I can't hear you. You know, this is a yes or no question.
While Louise was standing there and talking, Peggy came in from outside to tell me
He left. He left before the vote.
Has left before the vote. All right, boys and girls, we're going to have to do it again next month. No quorum is no quorum. No, I can't revert it back to executive board because the The bylaws specifically state it will come to delegate assembly. It's not quite as easy as you might think. Loren, can you turn these front lights back on, please? No? All right.
I need to restart the
Mr.
dimmer.
Grossman, please, you have a question?
Mr. Chairman, I want to repeat what I said. You may not like it, but how could we vote electronically when it was 27 or so different between the physical count? We are fooling ourselves. Either we have a quorum or we don't.
Right.
Now, we all know if we don't have a quorum, it goes back to the executive board, and that's terrible. Why are we just persisting to try to use a system that hasn't been verified?
All right, Ed. Ed, it's been verified and double verified. It's been tested and double tested. You'll notice that the vote exceeded the quorum call vote. So what you're saying, I mean, it's clear that some people didn't press the button.
David.
And we can't make a big thing out of that. Yes,
Yeah,
Ken.
I'm at the microphone.
Sorry, Ken.
You know, I've tested this system extensively, and you can see when we called for a quorum, only 120 some odd people pressed the button.
Right.
When we called for a vote, there were over 130 people pressed the button. There are still some people not pressing the button. As far as the quorum is concerned, the quorum is taken with a paper, and they come in here and they tell us what the quorum actually is.